Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome in, and we are playing Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling. We are going to be going down the third route of this game.
Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling.
Well, it's not in any specific order, but this is going to be the third character that I'm doing. And you can watch this in any order that you want. I've already done Miyuki and Shelby Snail, and today we're going to be starting Gill Lovecraft in the after drama. I am already really tired, and I've already fell asleep once today, less than an hour ago. So, doing Cupid Parasite will allow me to set the length of my video so I don't get completely exhausted editing it afterwards. I don't upload these as often as I probably should be doing, because I feel like it's just as popular as 9-Rip. But it's a fan disc, and so it's I guess less interesting to me because 9-Rip is a completely new game and this is a fan disc. And the two people I am really interested in playing in this is I'm saving till last because it's just, I don't know, I want to do best for last kind of thing. And I'm also playing it in the same order that I played it the main game as well. So this is the route that I did with the main game. With the two that I think best for last is Peter and Alan. There's a new Parasite in here too, but the new Parasite I'm going to do after Gill. So he's going to be kind of in the middle.
After drama, Gill Lovecraft.
Well, I was gonna...
君と俺のラブラブな新婚生活。いっぱい尽くすから覚悟してね。
I was going to go back and see what else there was besides the after drama, but you know what, we're just starting, I guess. Yes, we're going to use the same name. Prologue.
Cupid. それは恋を応援してくれるさまざまな恋愛モチーフに使われている神様。でも俺が好きになったのはみんなが知ってるキューピッドじゃない。空から落ちてきて人間の女の子になったキューピッド。そんな彼女に俺は夢中だ。君と恋人になって俺の世界は確かに鮮やかになったんだ。リネット。
Oh, it's so adorable. Oh my goodness, I don't think any other one has started out with a prologue like that before. A soft kiss on my lips jolted me for my days. Aww. Gill.
おはよう。寝てた？
Huh? I suppose. I didn't recall drifting off, but suddenly Gill's face was just inches from mine. Aww, are they sharing a nice romantic place on the beach? Beach or a ship? I think they're on a ship. Apparently I had dozed off on the balcony couch, a rhythmic flow of waves having lulled me into sleep. A chuckle slipped out as I looped my arms around his neck. Good morning, Gill.
おはよう。
His breath warmed my face as our lips met. The kiss was familiar, much like in my dreams. A kiss from my beloved Gill made me close my eyes. We were here post-wedding and on our honeymoon. Despite the yearning for each other, I felt like a never-ending abyss. His warm touch and the sensation of his hand stroking my hair only intensified my desire for him.
ジュース届いたよ。飲む？
Oh yeah, we ordered room service.
うん、甘くて美味しいよ。どうぞ。
The juice Gill handed me soothed my throat. It felt like an eternal cleanse. The hotel staff told us that it was their most popular drink, a blend of mango, pineapple, and lime. It's delicious.
よかった。ディナーは2時間後ぐらいだって。だからまだ寝てていいよ。
Gill gingerly grazed my cheek with his thumb, his gaze piercing mine.
疲れてるでしょ。昼間ビーチではしゃいでたし、結婚式が終わってからはあんまり休めないでいたしさ。
Thanks, I'll be fine, especially since you're here with me, Gill. My beloved Gill, with him by my side, joy overpowered any fatigue. I set the drink aside, throwing my arms around his neck and leaning in for another kiss.
もうどうしたの？そんなに甘えて。
No, I was just reflecting on how happy I am.
そっか。俺もだよ。
This time, Gill initiated the kiss, a playful, teasing peck. His eyes sparkled in the sunset light, reflecting the affection I'd come to expect. His gaze reassured me that he'd never turn away. Gill. I love you.
俺もだよ。
I didn't recognize that phrase. As the sunset painted the sky red, I noticed a different kind of fire flicker in his eyes. The kiss that followed was deeper, more passionate. Gill. His weight pressed down on me, but I'd become used to it. We were on our honeymoon, alone in our hotel room. Oh, really? No fear. No need to fear prying eyes. I caressed his hair, hearing Gill sigh contentedly.
リネット、ようやく俺たち結婚できたんだよね。
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. It's fine. Yes. Our noses touched, our lips teased each other playfully, and our laughter filled the room. Gill, you're my husband now.
俺が君の夫で、君が俺の奥さんだ。
The sweetness of our wedding ceremony lingered in my heart, much like melting ice cream. Having pledged ourselves to each other in wedding attire, we were ready for our honeymoon with no need for restraint.
ずっとこうなる日を夢見ていたよ、リネット。
The ice in the glass had melted. The sound of the waves was our lullaby. Elated honeymoon trip. I don't remember if I include the song in the other two, but we're gonna leave it in just because this is the start of a new route, so might as well, right? Plus, it's been a while since I've even seen that, and I get excited every time I hear the theme song of Otome games. It doesn't matter what Otome game it is. I'm actually looking forward to this. I say that, saying that sounds like I wasn't looking forward to it, but like I said, it's a fan disc, so it's just after stories, which so far hasn't been as good as the normal game. Fan discs usually aren't, but so they always start out with some kind of, you know, happy intro. Ryuki was taking her to go visit his parents, and Shelby, they were on their honeymoon as well. and Gill's on his honeymoon. But I think because Gill is like the most passionate of all of them, I think I'm really craving a passionate story right now. And I think Gill will provide it for me. But hopefully there's not too many awkward scenes to read, like in Shelby's. Or like Ryuki's spicy end. Yeah, I don't know if I can handle that, so. Alright. The past 6 years since Gill and I met would forever be etched in my memory. The day I stopped being Cupid was the day I discovered what love truly was.
Lynette!
Case 01, Lovelore Parasite. I discovered only recently that Gill Lovecraft, a member of the Parasite 5, had been lovelorn for me. Until then, I had assumed Gill was nursing an unrequited love for Clarice, but now...
ギルが好きなのはあなた。昔からギルはあなたが好きだったのよ。
Clarice's declaration took me by surprise. I couldn't believe that Gill had feelings for me, leading me to make a bet with Clarice. My download is done. I think my game capture recorded that, but it's fine. His embrace made me realize my misconception. However, as Cupid, the idea of falling in love as a human seemed impossible to me. But as I spent more time with Gill, my feelings evolved and I fell for him, and now...
Lynette? どうしたの?
You know, that picture in the background looks like some kind of picture from Cupid Parasite. like some kind of picture of the city. Gill's voice pulled me back to the present. We were enjoying our honeymoon and we were on our way back to Baltimore. Baltimore was quite far from Lost York. Gill wanted to introduce me to his friends and relatives who couldn't attend the wedding. Nothing, I was just thinking about how quickly time has flown.
あっという間?
So much has happened these past 6 months. It all feels surreal to me.
確かにそうだね。うん、本当にいろいろあったよな。
Gill gazed out of the airplane window, lost in thought. I wonder if he was reminiscing about the time we flew home from Celestia. That was entertaining.
俺もまさかこの子と両思いになれるだなんて思わなかったよな。
The night our feelings became mutual came back to me, bringing a lump in my throat. To be honest, I'd been somewhat cynical, doubting that day would ever arrive.
失恋慣れとでも言うのかな。彼女に気づいてもらえない時間が長すぎて、まるでそれが当たり前のように思ってたんだ。でもあの日、彼女は言ってくれた。俺のことが好きだって。
I wasn't prepared for her admission. I was too stunned to react. The happiness was overwhelming. You definitely reacted.
だから俺、キスしちゃったんだよな。
I was on the brink. All of our pent-up emotions and desires were suddenly laid bare. I know, I'm like, that wasn't just your first kiss. She was so naive and adorable, like a baby bird. I wanted her all to myself. That was what I thought.
あの晩のこの子、可愛かったよな。最後の方とか泣いてたし。
I can honestly say I don't remember much of that episode. I wish I did.
あの瞬間、世界には俺たち二人しかいないんじゃないかって思えるぐらい、お互いを求め合って。
She looked at me blankly. Recalling that moment made me somewhat restless.
なんでもない。俺もいろいろ思い出しただけ。
Yeah, I don't remember like what led up to her confessing. I wish I did. I know what happens after that. Like she saw something on his phone, thought that he was writing a bad article about her or something and ran away to Celestia. That memory would always be my most cherished. I had been harboring feelings for her since college, and we eventually became a couple. I felt so alive.
でも、その後、いろいろ行き違いがあって。
Legs. From that point forward. I know, right? Honestly. Everything was a whirlwind. He's got his super secret angel folder, I think is what he called it.
でも、今は俺たちは夫婦で、本当に結婚できたんだもんな。
He's such a hopeless romantic. It all seemed like a fairy tale or a dream, but these memories were the real thing. We overcame numerous challenges together and eventually became wedded. Strong emotions began to brim in my heart.
本当にこの子と結婚できたんだ。ずっと好きだった人と。幸せの絶頂ってこのことなんだ。
Gill seems overjoyed. I know, he's just off in La La Land. He'd been wearing a grin for a while. Gill, what's on your mind?
あ、うん。結婚式のことを思い出してたんだ。
Among other things.
君のウェディングドレス姿、本当に素敵だったなって思って。
Gill scratched his head. Despite it, he looked delighted. His happiness was infectious. I see, and you looked great in your tuxedo.
そうならよかったけれど。でも実はマリッジリングをはめるとき、君が綺麗すぎて緊張しちゃってさ、手の震えを隠すのが大変だったよ。
Really?
うん。俺結婚式まで何回もイメージトレーニングしてたのに、全部本番になったら吹き飛んじゃったんだ。君と再会するイメージトレーニングならあの頃毎日やってたんだけど、指輪交換のイメトレはそこまでやってなかったから、本番でもバッチリ決めたかったな。それだけが心残りだよ。
His nervous laugh is cute. You were perfect. I didn't notice you shaking when we exchanged rings.
本当？
Yes, Gill, you were the picture of confidence.
そっか。よかった。そっか。そんな風に思ってくれてたんだ。
He smiled with a nod. Maybe it was just me, but he seemed even more joyful. What was that about mentally preparing to reunite with me, though? The loved one Parasite, in case he ever got back with you. There was about a 2-year gap in which Gill and I weren't roommates. I felt both delighted and slightly awkward, realizing that I had been on his mind that whole time.
ああ、幸せすぎる。これ以上の幸せなんてないよ。
Nothing else matters. Oh, Gill. If anyone saw us, they think we were a sickeningly sweet couple fresh off our honeymoon. Well, you kind of are, right? But the truth was, we were newlyweds basking in marital bliss.
地元のみんなに君を紹介できるのが今から楽しみだよ。みんなびっくりするだろうな。こんな可愛くて素敵な子と結婚できたなんて。
Oh, stop exaggerating.
そんなことないよ。君は俺だけの天使なんだから。
I know he has the folder on his phone to prove it. He'll smile as he showed me his phone screen. See? I didn't think he was actually going to do that, but okay. It displayed a folder filled with numerous photos of me that he has shown to my dad as well. Wait, there are even more photos now.
当然だよ。君ってば毎秒可愛いからさ、つい撮っちゃうんだ。
He's got wedding photos now.
これはね、お揃いの歯ブラシを買うのに色を迷っている時の君で、こっちはパンケーキにキャラメルソースでお絵描きしている時のベストショット。こんなことしてたら君のお父さんにまた気持ち悪いって言われちゃうかな。
I know, right? I think everyone else might say the same, honestly. But it was clear that he adored me, so I couldn't argue. Love truly is blind, they say. My dear Gill, I am who I am today because he fell for me as Cupid. After I returned to Celestia, he employed some rather crazy methods to find me. He declared his love for me, whether as a human or as Cupid. I know, he turned a car into a transformer and flew to Celestia. Called it Bumblepig. So this is Baltimore, where Gill was born and raised. I can't wait to see what it's like. I gazed out the window. Just like Gill had visited Celestia where I was born and raised, I was now doing the same for him. I looked forward to meeting Gill's friends and family, but...
リネット、今度のドレスの色はどうする？俺はイエローも似合うと思ってるんだけど。
That's quite the house. I almost forgot that Gill is like the son of a president of a famous car company. I think he took over that company in the good ending of his as well. I was thinking of something before now and it's escaped me. So I don't know what I was thinking about. I was going to talk about it, but it's gone. Anyway.
グレーも大人っぽくていいし、君はこれまでのどれが一番気に入った？
Wait, I'm lost. What's happening again? Why was I being shown so many dresses at Gill's parents' house? The dress vendor had brought them all over. Upon arriving at their home, I was greeted by a mountain of dresses.
でもピンクもいいな。すっごく似合う。じゃあドレスは10着ぐらいにして。
Let's go easy. Gill, what exactly are we preparing for right now?
何って、もちろん結婚式だけど。
Another wedding? Wedding? I remember we just had one recently.
ロサンヨークではね。でもボルトモアではまだだったから。
Oh yeah, I was just thinking of, I wonder what the conflict is going to be in this one, because so far they've all had a conflict, right? Yuki had like an inferiority complex with another model. Shelby's company was starting to be taken over by a rival. So I wonder what his is.
ロサンヨークまで来られなかった親戚のみんなも見たいって言ってくれたからさ、地元でも結婚式やろうと思ったんだ。
You haven't talked about this with her. Oh, what?
あれ？言わなかったっけ？
Apparently not. No, you didn't.
そっか。ごめん。ちょっと先走っちゃったみたいだね。
Gil put down the dress he was holding and turned to me.
せっかく君をみんなに紹介できるからさ、結婚式やってもいい？ほら、LCI 社のみんなやお世話になってる工場のみんなにも結婚式来てもらいたいし、父さんも地元でもやってほしいから式費用も援助するって言ってくれてたし、だね。
Gil looked at me with those doting eyes, citing one reason after another. He looked like a scolded puppy, which made me burst into laughter. Yes, we can.
本当?
Yes, I'm surprised we're doing this whole wedding thing again, but I'd love to share our celebration with those who matter to you. I recalled that when I was a bridal advisor, I'd have customers inquire about hosting ceremonies in each of their hometowns. I nodded, and his face lit up with a genuine smile.
よかった。一瞬焦っちゃったよ。ごめんね、相談が遅くなって。でも 俺がボルトモアでも結婚式やろうと思うって言ったらジーヤたちも大喜びでさ。
Old butler.
うん、このドレスを取り寄せてくれたのもジーヤたちで。
ギル坊ちゃん、予定よりも早いお帰りでしたな。
That moment, a man dressed in traditional butler attire arrived.
ジーヤ
He calls him Gramps.
ギル坊ちゃん、立派になられましたな。お出迎えできず大変失礼いたしました、リネット様。
Sama, huh? Nice to meet you. I've recently married Gill. I'm his wife, Lynette. Oh, really? I felt compelled to mirror his formality, and Gill just smiled shyly.
すまっか
You're a hopeless man.
ギル坊ちゃん、顔がだらしなくなっていますよ。
Suddenly, I heard some giggles.
あらあら、まあまあ、ギル坊ちゃんたら本当にお幸せそうな顔をされて。
ばあや久しぶり。元気だった？
もちろんですとも。ギル坊ちゃんももうガレージでうたた寝はしておりませんか？
もうしないよ。
Gill smiled sheepishly while the two of them looked on fondly. Their warm, familial gazes were like the gentle sun.
あ、紹介するよ。彼女がリネット。世界で一番大切な俺の奥さんだよ。
Nice to meet you, I'm Lynette.
あらまあ、本当に可愛らしい奥様だこと。
ギル坊ちゃん、本当に幸せ者ですな。
うん、そうなんだ。それでさ、ばあや、ドレスどれがいいかな。
Gill began picking out my dress with the pair of them, his butler and nanny. I had assumed Gill was the stereotypical rich boy from the movies when I first saw this mansion. Turned out I was right. I know, right? He is the heir to LCI Company after all. He still served as the president of LCI. Seeing him back at his parents' home and hearing him referred to as Master Gill showed me how much he was cherished. He wants to hold the ceremony in front of these people he cares for deeply. We have to make it spectacular. I chimed in with the trio, debating which dress would be best.
それでさ、俺はマーメイドラインもいいし、ベルラインでクラシカルにまとめるのも似合うと思ってるんだよね。
Wonder what a mermaid dress looks like.
ええ、奥様ならどちらでもお似合いになりますね。
だよね。それで悩んじゃってて。あ、そうしたらまずは方向性を決めよっか。
Gill presented two dresses just as the bridal planner had done for our first wedding ceremony.
このイエローのレーシーなプリンセスラインの可愛らしいドレスと、そっちのグレイッシュカラーのシルク生地でシンプルだけどスタイリッシュなスレンダーラインのドレス。この2着だったら君はどっちの方を着てみたい？
Gill looked at me with twinkling eyes as if he wanted me to say that I loved both. After a moment's consideration, I chose. Forgot to bring up the choices. Dang it. Alright, so it's the gray slender silhouette, but we're gonna say princess cut first. The princess one, I don't often get to wear such an elaborate lace dress outside of occasions like this.
あ、そっか。君なら日常生活で着てても俺はいいなって思っちゃうけど、確かに動きづらいもんな。あ、そしたらさ、髪をアップにして長いベールにティアラを合わせるのなんてどうかな。それでグローブはショートにしてキュートさをアップしたら君の可愛さと綺麗さが引き立つと思うし。
I couldn't help but laugh at Gill's quick-fire suggestions. Gill, You're a planner pro now. How did you come up with so many ideas just from the dress? Alright, let's go back to the top. Alright, we're going to choose the gray slender silhouette. I prefer the slender cut. The material looks comfy and it'll help make the ceremony more enjoyable. But this design will be form-fitting. I'll need to maintain a disciplined lifestyle until the big day, if you catch my drift. Gill, your food is so delicious that I need more self-restraint.
そんなことないよ。今のままで十分綺麗に着れるって。
You say that, but you can't change a woman's mind when she feels this way.
それに、もしサイズが変わってもすぐにドレスを用意するから、そんな心配しないで。君が着たいのを着るのが一番だよ。
Oh my goodness, this reminds me of one of his endings where he just like babied her and fed her stuff and she just lounged around and ate his food and watched TV or something like that, and she and she just became lazy, I guess. Couch potato. Don't do that in this one.
俺はどんな君も好きだからね。
I sensed a bit of madness in Gill's eyes as he smiled. He says even if my size changes, but I still have to watch it on my own. I know he's not going to help you. Gill was the type to spoil me endlessly. Even if I put on weight, he'd say he didn't mind. That only reinforced my resolve to look after my own health.
それはともかく、確かにこのスレンダーラインのドレスも君によく似合うだろうね。背中のラインとか、特に君の肩甲骨の形が際立つだろうし、きっと綺麗だろうな。
He's going down fantasy land. Sure, thanks. But I wonder how I appear to Gill. This makes me happy, but it's somewhat embarrassing.
でも、この2着ともいいし、他のドレスも着てみてほしいし。
Gill started talking about trying everything that might suit me. I guess we went back too soon, but it's fine. I'm sure it was just going to meet up eventually. He was about to fetch 20 more dresses, so I hastily intervened. But he was just getting warmed up. Poor Lynette. Time for a makeover. Happy premonition.
ジル坊ちゃん、これ本当にやるのかい？
Our mechanic.
やるってんなら全力でやらせていただきますが。
What does he want now? A few hours after we arrived at Gill's home, someone from the car workshop visited and started discussing plans for the ceremony. But why someone from the car workshop?
もちろんやるよ。これは子供の頃からの夢でさ。映画や SF 小説を参考にピックアップしてみたんだ。
まあ、そりゃ男ならこれには憧れますが。
I wonder what they're planning. Curious about what was going on, I snuck a peek at the estimate. I couldn't help but gasp. Hold on, Gill. What's this helicopter that's mentioned here?
やらない？ヘリコプターから降りてくるやつ。
No, that's only in MP's route.
サプライズで登場すればみんな驚くよ。バラの花びらとともに式場に降り立つんだ。きっと会場の人たちはあまりの君の美しさに本物の女神が降り立ったと錯覚するだろうな。いや、本当の女神なんだけどさ。
Rose petals? I know many clients at CC who wanted to do that. Gill, what is it that you want?
どうだろう。
Oh, she said, is that what you want?
ありゃ、やりたいわけじゃないんすか？
俺、こう空飛ぶのが夢だったんだよね。でもほら、 一応それは叶っちゃったから。
Oh. The flying car, Bumblebee. The car that Gill built to rescue me at Celestia was resting at home in Lost York. I hope Bumblebee is behaving at home. According to Mom, it possessed some kind of soul, so it interacted with the car radio and even roamed around at night.
だから空を飛びたいっていうよりは彼女をみんなに見せびらかしたいっていう方が強いかな。
And you want to use a helicopter for that, but not just use a convertible like we did at Lost York.
というかギル坊ちゃん、花嫁さんに確認してなかったんですか？
No, he's just all over the place right now.
いや、これぐらいなら普通かなって思っちゃって。
What exactly is ordinary for Gill?
変わってないな、ギル坊ちゃんは。ほんと思い込んだら一直線だ。昔もな、絶対に車を空に飛ばすんだって言って飛行機用のジェットをつけて倉庫を爆発させたりしてたし。
おじさん、彼女の前でやめてよ。恥ずかしいな。
The way he addressed him just now sounded like family. Oji-san, I think is what he said, but it says car mechanic, so I'm so confused. Gill and the mechanic started reminiscing about the past. Seeing them like that was heartwarming, but maybe he's like part of the family or something. They're talking about helicopters and a parade of 50 cars. What scale of wedding ceremony are they imagining? The estimate has several terms that were foreign to me. It reminded me of the times at CC or during my Cupid days when the groom and bride got carried away with their wedding plans. I thought I had experienced plenty of grand weddings in Lost York, but it seemed like the ceremony here in his hometown of Baltimore was going to be even bigger than I had anticipated. And my suspicion was confirmed. Gill's planning meeting for the ceremony extended into the night. I'm so exhausted. That's a fancy room. Once the meeting ended, I enjoyed a lovely dinner with Gill's parents. After bathing in the large communal bath, I finally got some alone time with Gill. I let out a long sigh.
ごめん、疲れたよね。今日は遅いし、もう寝よっか。ほら、ベッドに行こう。
With his usual boyish grin, Gill scooped me up, and he carried me all the way to the bed, telling me he would get my pajamas.
はい、到着。
Gill gently laid me onto the bed just like he always does at home. After rolling around on the sheets of bed, I caught a delightful scent. Oh. This was the bed he'd used his whole life until he moved away. Gill's scent lingered all over it. I suddenly felt a wave of relaxation wash over me. Breathing a soft sigh of relief, I rolled over, my eyes roaming the room. So this is Gill's room. He grew up here until he started at Lost York University.
お、どうしたの?
Nothing. I'm just realizing how this room really shows your personality. His collection of car models confirmed his love for cars. While I continued to take in my surroundings, Gill scratched his head bashfully.
なんだか照れくさいな。変なもの出しっぱなしになってないよね。
Don't worry, it's a chill room, very calming to be in.
ならいいけど。君が俺の実家の部屋に来るなら、俺だけ先に来て片付けしとけばよかったかな。
Gill glanced around, a hint of concern crossing his face before he settled onto the bed beside me. This bed, once only his alone, was surprisingly spacious for two. He did come from an affluent family after all. Master Gill, huh? Reminiscing about the day's meetings, I began to feel uneasy. Yeah, I only knew Gill as my roommate back in college, but he was the heir of LCI. He had a butler and a nanny, and even the car workshop staff treated him with utmost respect. Given his high social status, a grand wedding ceremony was probably unavoidable. But honestly, I think a helicopter is a bit much.
それでさ、明日なんだけど、実は結婚式の料理の打ち合わせがあるんだ。明日も一緒に出てもらっていい？
Sure, of course.
よかった。俺さ、トランスカーズ型のウェディングケーキとか作ってみたくて。
Of course he does. Transfer car's wedding cake.
そう。で、ケーキ入刀したら中からドライアイスの煙が。ケーキカット用のナイフはフロントスポイラーに似せた形のものを特別発注して。
As Gill began brainstorming out loud, it became clear that leaving everything to him could result in chaos. I was thrilled to see Gill so excited, but we were limited on time for the ceremony during the honeymoon. Despite his elaborate plans, I worried whether the vendors could meet his expectations. I turned to Gill. Directly or gently? It is gently, so we're gonna do directly first. Gill.
何？
The plan you showed me today is certainly spectacular, but don't you think it's a bit much?
やりすぎ？
Aw, it would ruin his day. Yes. Gill's plan for the wedding seemed to include every single idea that crossed his mind. Tons of flowers in the garden, and he planned to have drones showering more petals from the sky, also his grand entrance by helicopter. The excessive use of fireworks and flamingos was just the tip of the iceberg. It was too much. A grand wedding ceremony could be memorable, but I don't think there's a need to make it so flashy.
派手かな。
Usually people don't include helicopters or flamingos, right?
それはそうかもしれないけど、でもみんなに君をインパクトと一緒に覚えてもらいたいというか。
He's pouting. But if the performance overshadows everything else, won't people only remember the flamingos?
フラミンゴしか。
To be honest, I just want a ceremony that leaves everyone with a smile. I want to create those happy memories with you, Gill. That's why, could we maybe reconsider the way we're planning the ceremony?
リネット。そうだよな。後々結婚式の話するとき、フラミンゴしか覚えられてなかったとかありえるよな。
Hopefully that's far enough now. So far up here. Alright. I'm gonna let him down gently now. Gill, can we chat?
何？
Consider this scenario. Imagine you're at a friend's birthday party. The reception at the party hall welcomes you with 6 flamingos. Then the birthday guy, your friend, shows up in a helicopter with an over-the-top entrance. You barely got to speak with him. And the party ends with a massive firework display. How would you feel about the party once you got home?
派手なパーティーだったな。お金かかってたなって思うかな。
Exactly, but wouldn't you miss celebrating the birthday with your friend? Isn't that the whole point?
確かにそうだね。友人とも話せなかったらお祝いに行ったというよりショーを見に行ったって感覚かも。
Just trailed off. He's stunned silence.
あ、そうか。そういうことか。
Gill's eyes widen, clearly connecting the hypothetical birthday party to his wedding plan. I gather the courage to speak my mind. To be honest, I just want a ceremony that leaves everyone with a smile. I want to create those happy memories with you, Gill. That's why, could we maybe reconsider the way we're planning the ceremony?
リネット。そうだよな。後々結婚式の話するとき、フラミンゴしか覚えられてなかったとかありえるよな。いきなりフラミンゴが出てきても誰も喜ばないだろうし、確かに君の言う通りだ。
With a breath, Gill pulled out his schedule from his pocket.
わかった。プランちゃんと見直すよ。
Gill. I felt relieved as he agreed. He scratched his cheek bashfully.
ごめん。君とまた結婚式できるんだって思ったらつい欲張りになっちゃって、そこまで考えられてなかったみたいだ。前回できなかったことを全部詰め込まなきゃって思い込んで、来てくれる人のことを全然考えられてなかった。そうだよな。別に1回で全部やる必要はないんだ。やりたくなったらまた結婚式あげてもいいんだし。
Wait, what? I zoned out during that. Let's see. There's no need to do everything at once. We can always have another ceremony if we want. Another ceremony? Oh my goodness. I thought I detected a hint of foreboding in his words, but Gill smiled warmly at me.
きちんとみんなに喜んでもらえる式にできるよう練り直すよ。君にも意見もらっていいかな。
Yes, of course.
ありがとう。よーし、じゃあ早速どんな結婚式が今はスタンダードなのか調べてみなきゃ。
We lay side by side in bed, shoulders touching, and scrolled through various websites on a tablet.
へえ、結婚式で飾っていいお花とあんまり良くないお花があるんだ。
Oh, this flower is cute.
ほんとだ。ブルースター。花言葉は幸福な愛だって。サムシングブルーにちなんでていいね。君はこのお花会場にあったら嬉しい？
Yes, they're elegant and lovely.
上品な。確かにそうかも。今は派手さと珍しさ重視で選んじゃってるし、もうちょっとここも見直してみよっかな。
That reminds me, I remember seeing carnivorous plants on the list.
それで料理はどういうのが喜ばれるのかな。
We looked up popular alcoholic beverages and foods for the wedding, as well as the current trends.
難しいな。料理は地域によって好まれるのが違うみたいだし。
We stumbled upon an article about the exchange of rings, and Gill paused our scrolling.
あ、
The article shared tips on how to smoothly exchange rings to prevent dropping them. I recalled Gill's thoughts on the plane. He said his hand trembled slightly and he wanted the ceremony to be perfect. I wonder if we'll exchange rings again or not. Our rings were already on our fingers, but if Gill had any regrets, we could certainly do it again. Those thoughts occupied my mind as we continued to browse wedding-related articles. Then Gill stopped scrolling again.
あ、動画でまとめてくれてる人がいる。
He pointed to a thumbnail of a video about weddings. Is this YouTube?
うん、結婚式の準備でやりがちなことをまとめた動画みたい。
I clicked on the video revealing a man in a parka with a cute bird on it, his face hidden by a hood. YouTube.
おしどり目指してラブフライ。恋も愛もスパイスオブライフ。あなたに届けこの思い。恋愛系要求バーのラブバースです。
You know, if this is supposed to be a video, then the seconds should be ticking down, right? The seconds are staying the same.
今日は結婚式でありがちのミス、カップルの喧嘩の原因になりそうなことについて話していくよ。ところでみんな知ってた？実は結婚式の準備中に喧嘩して別れるカップルって意外と多いんだ。喧嘩の原因の一つは協力的じゃないから。どっちかが張り切りすぎちゃってどっちかが手伝わないせいで喧嘩になるんだ。それともう一つは価値観の違い。会場やドレス、料理などにどこまで予算をかけるか、意見が合わなくて喧嘩になることが多いんだって。ということでここからはお役立ち情報、結婚式の予算の減らし方を話していくよ。
Yeah, but Gill's father's paying for it, right? So the YouTuber Lovebirds launched into his tips and tricks. He covered topics like choosing the right flowers for weddings, florography to consider, and scoring good deals. He flagged common pitfalls when selecting food and gave pointers to choose between buying or renting a dress. He shared so much information that even I, as a Cupid Corp advisor, learned something new.
という感じでお互いの好きなものを料理のラインナップに加えておくと参列者の会話もいい感じに弾むんだ。ぜひ2人の思い出をみんなに語ってみて。きっと盛り上がるから。それじゃあ最後は恒例のおすすめ本紹介コーナー。恋人をもっと愛したいみんなにおすすめの本だよ。この本読んだことある？そう、超話題作。ギル・ラブクラフト氏の君のためのラブレターが今日のおすすめ。
I read the title of the book first before I read what he was saying, and I'm like, I recognize that. And then it says Gill Lovecraft at the bottom, so it just confirmed it.
これを読んでおけば一途な気持ちを思い出してもっと恋人を大切にしたいって思うかも。ぜひ参考にしてみて。軍内おしどりたち、またね。
Did he just mention your book, Gill?
うん、びっくりした。こんな風に人気YouTuberに紹介してもらえるなんて思ってなかったな。
The Love Letters for You book was inspired by all the love letters that he had ever wrote her. He gave it to her at one of his endings. And I don't know who suggested it, probably her. He just make a compilation out of them.
動画もすごくためになる話ばっかりだったし、最近はコースより立食の方が楽でいいってさっき動画で言ってたよね。
Right, and the bit about how it's a buzzkill if the meal ends too soon.
じゃあガーデンパーティーみたいな感じでカジュアルに食べられる料理をたくさん用意すればいいのかな。
Sounds good, but we should also have some plated dishes so guests can relax.
あ、そうだ。君はどんな料理が食べたいとかある？
I thought back to the video. He suggested incorporating a memorable dish from our past. The most memorable dish between Gill and me was blue cheese. But we used that at the first wedding. Blue cheese, yeah, because they had blue cheese kisses for the first time. What about crab cakes? I was gonna say crab cakes, right? Because that's his favorite.
あ、いいね。ボルトモアなら新鮮なカニがあるし、すごくいいかも。何より君が初めて俺のために作ってくれた思い出の味だしね。じゃあ同じ海産物としてオイスターつかみ取りはやめて。
He was considering a bucket of oysters. It's a good thing Raoul's not attending, right? Slowly but surely, we refined our plans through those discussions.
ありがとう、リネット。
What's gotten into you?
ただ幸せだなって思ったんだ。君に遠慮なく意見をもらえて、君と一緒に結婚式を作れて。必ずいい式にしようね。
With a soft smile, Gill turned away from the screen to share a sweet kiss. Although we were newlyweds, we still frolicked and smooched as we were still dating. Thankfully, we trashed the ideas of a flamingo display and helicopter entrance. Well, that's a good stopping point, I think. Second, first night. Oh, really? Yeah, I think it's a good place to stop. I said I wanted something more passionate. I don't want to read it right now. It's 11 o'clock and I want to edit this, so anyway. I'm sure we're going to get lots of passionate Gill in this one. That's just who he is. He's just a passionate guy. Anyway. He's just taking this marriage thing, he's just running with it, which is really cute. Well, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.